Okay, so I have my hair twisted and I just put rollers at the end to try to like compensate for like my ends just pissing me the hell off. Is it working? I don't really think it's really doing anything, but I did my edges. I have my Hello Kitty headband on, and you know, I have my Victoria's Secret robe on. Fear not, I am not naked under this. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna take my handy dandy Hello Kitty mirror and also my hand mirror. So I'm just gonna use some edge control to gel down my eyebrows. Great. Now I'm gonna let that dry and I'm gonna work on the base. Okay, so for primer, I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Power Grip Matte Primer. So my fave primers. Oof. And as you can see, I'm running out. Rub it into my hands, rub it onto my face. I already did my skincare for the day, so you know, I'm not really gonna show that. And now I'm going to use my e.l.f. eye cream. And since this is like a get ready with me kind of thing, I am just so shocked. Like, wow guys, I'm 21. I'm like a full-fledged, well, considered a full-fledged adult, even though I don't really feel like I am. It's just like, wow, like lifetime isn't real, life isn't real. I'm sorry, it really isn't. And then for lips, I'm just going to use a random lip oil. It really feels surreal at times because it's like damn, I'm like a real adult now. I don't know, I guess life is supposed to be harder now. You know, adulting is kicking in and it's just really scary. I'm gonna fill in my eyebrows now. So I'm gonna take the the Absolute New York Brow Gel in the shade Espresso. But yeah, I don't know, I just feel like every time it's my birthday, especially when it's like a milestone age, I feel like I just get really emotional about it. Not that I'm crying or anything, but you know, just deep in thought about like what it means to be this age. Unfortunately, lost my grandma kind of towards the end of last year, so this is gonna be my first birthday without her and stuff. And I know she would have, you know, been surprised that I'm 21, because when I turned 16, she was like, wow, you know. So, you know, I miss her. I'm taking the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Chestnut. I'm not going to talk during this because brows, they require concentration. Uno momento. Okay, I believe I'm doing my eyebrows. If I see any inconsistencies with them, I'll fix that. So for the eyes, I wanted to do something that matches my dress. It's like a kind of like yellowy pastel kind of dress. First, let me just set the lids because I did bring some concealer down. So to cut my crease, I'm going to use concealer to do it. Wish me luck, y'all. I'm just kind of outlining where I want the shadow to be. So let's start small. I always feel like outlining my crease is so hard sometimes because one of my lids is always just so much different than the other. I'm an idiot, but let me take this time to just add a little warmth to my lid. Now I'm going to do the other side and just kind of see what needs to be fixed. I mean, y'all can't even see the concealer, so you'll see kind of when I add the white eyeshadow. Then it's kind of just tap to even it out so it doesn't look splotchy. And to set this, I'm just going to take the white eyeshadow. I'm using the James Charles and Morphe collaboration. I don't support him at all, but I got this palette before the incident of him like texting minors happened. So unironically, I got this for my 15th birthday. I believe my cousin and my aunt got me this palette. So this is the mini version. So we're just gonna pack this on. You guys see it now? Good. For my 21st birthday, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I was kind of distraught because, you know, I always like take my birthday seriously because it's like, it's your birthday, hello, turn up. But you know, I wasn't really able to get like a job because I've been applying and stuff. I wasn't really able to get into any research internships, so I was just worried about how I'm actually going to be able to like do stuff. So I was really depressed about that. But my mom told me, like, I don't know, like a month ago or so, that we're going on a surprise trip, and you know, just us, her and I. And you know, I was like, oh my gosh, tell me. And she only told me like, I don't know, a couple days before that we're going to Las Vegas. So that was really nice. Celebrating your 21st in Las Vegas. Hello. Yeah, so I was just really excited for that. And I'm also like studying to become an EMT this summer and stuff. So, you know, I kind of had to like work around that, especially when it came to like my nails. I mean, hopefully they're not really an impediment, but I tried not to make them too long and stuff, because you don't want your nails to be long as an EMT. You also just want to be hygienic. But definitely if I do work like as an EMT full-time, I'm definitely going to get short nails, or you know, just get my nails done really occasionally. So thankfully it's like an online class, like thrice a week. And then they also have like skills on the weekend. So I was kind of able to work around that and be able to go on my trip. I didn't go for a full week. I went from Sunday to Wednesday. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Surprisingly, the plane to Las Vegas in Nevada is 5 hours. And I was like, I didn't expect that to be so long, you know? So I was just kind of like, oh, wow, okay. I'm going to take this flat brush. Let's try to use this palette that one of my teachers gave me. She unfortunately passed, so rest in peace, Miss Wade. Okay, I think I found it. Thank God for colorful palettes like this. I don't know, I don't want to pour anything, but I'm going to take this shade. It matches my dress, I believe. So let's get into it. But yeah, as I was saying, I was surprised that the plane was like 5 hours. I don't know, I just didn't expect it to be so far within, you know, America. But I guess, you know, America really is so vast where it's like 5 hours just to still be in America, you know? I'm just gonna take that shade and tap it onto my lid. Period. My mom and I left the house at like, I don't know, 5 a.m. I basically didn't sleep because I was like, on Saturday nights, I'm usually going to bed at like 2, 3, 4 when it's really bad. I was like, okay, I'm just not gonna sleep. Child, did I eat those words later? Or did I bite? Did I eat? Did I bite? I bit those words later. Yeah, so I didn't really sleep. I tried to pull an all-nighter. We arrived to the airport at around like, I don't know, 5 something. Bro, why was there, it was the lines, it was crowded, and I'm just kind of like, what the hell? Like, damn, New York City really is packed, because, oh my gosh, you could arrive there at 5 a.m. and you're still waiting for stuff forever, you know? So we checked in, got our tickets, and then we had to go to TSA. God, packing for this trip was so annoying because we only brought like carry-on and stuff. So I had to condense my skincare, my body care, and everything else into the travel size bottles. Let me show you guys. I labeled this. It actually, my mom got me this little kit, and it has labels and stuff, but I still wrote on the bottles themselves. So yeah, I condensed it, and thankfully, I passed TSA. I was really nervous about that because, you know, I have a lot of stuff to pack. My cleanser is most important. I skipped on bringing an oil cleanser because, you know, I'm not really staying here for that long. And you can really just double cleanse with a water-based cleanser to make up for it. Yeah, and then I brought my cleanser. I brought my toner in like a spray form because it's very liquidy. I didn't bring my other one. I just brought one toner. I brought a moisturizer. And I also brought sunscreen, of course, for my face and my body. And then I brought like a body moisturizer. Honestly, I need to restock on my body butters or things of thicker consistencies, because this moisturizer that I brought, 2 seconds after I put it on, I just feel dry. I couldn't really layer the way I really do because, you know, that's just a lot to bring. I don't want to fail TSA. I'm just going to opt for like a thicker based moisturizer because, child, feeling dry and ashy after you come out the shower, after you've put on moisturizer, just sucks. Ugh. Now we're going to do eyeliner. I'm going to use the e.l.f. liquid eyeliner. And for makeup, I literally brought my concealer to do my eyes and to cover my base because it works as both. It actually matches me really well, surprisingly. And it gives me a nice finish. I didn't bring powder. I know, shoot me. But I think some concealers are really like self-setting, so you can kind of get away with it. I mean, up close, my base was not how it really should look. From afar, for the pics, it did its purpose. I brought, you know, a lip combo. I also brought mascara. And I brought like shimmer for my eyes. Because, you know, a girl always has to have shimmer. Hello. So let me do my eyeliner and get back to y'all. Because a girl also has to concentrate for this. Because this could take me 5 minutes or 15. the shade 370. So, ooh, when we got there, the airport in Las Vegas is very, very fancy. And I feel like there's not really like such a line. Even when we were coming back to New York, it was like, wow, this does not take long at all. Such a better experience compared to TSA and just the airport in New York, you know, where everyone and their mom is living. So my mom and I, we took a taxi to the hotel. And lo and behold, coming back, my mom realized that we low-key got scammed because the guy, for some reason, it felt like it was taking 20 minutes to go to the hotel we were staying at. Lo and behold, no, the guy who drove us, it was like 25-30. Lo and behold, that only takes like 15-20 minutes. And I think the taxi, you know, they do metered parking. So my mom paid so much more to go to the hotel than she did to get back. And I was like, and then my mom even tipped the guy. And I was just kind of like, wow. We didn't really know that there was like such a shorter route, but Uber, because we Ubered to the airport to go back, gives you the shortest route. And this guy did not take the shortest route. And I'm just kind of like, I know you have to make your money, but it's kind of like, really? But yeah, we got there. We couldn't really check in until like, we got there around, we left at 10 or 11 or something like that. And so we basically kind of just explored, walked around, tried to go, they had like a little shopping area, shopping center. So we kind of just walked around and explored that area. Child, things are expensive. My mom and I got ourselves some breakfast, so we just went to Subway. Surprisingly, Las Vegas has a lot of Subways. It doesn't matter how deserted the area is, there will be a Subway. My mom and I got basically got a meal. We got a sandwich, cookie, drink. Guess how much that cost? That cost almost $50. Can you imagine? $50 just for 2 Subway meals? In New York, that'll probably be half the price. I was just kind of like, oh, this is the kind of thing we're dealing with? Oh, I did not know Las Vegas was this expensive, you know? And you can already tell, like, people come to Las Vegas to gamble, do all that nonsense. Like, they really do. Why do we go to the hotel? You already see down the lane, casinos, gambling. We walked in to go get Subway into the entryway of the shopping center, casinos, gambling. I said, damn, they don't play about that around here. I'm going to be using the e.l.f. concealer, hydrating concealer. I don't know why I'm saying it like that, in the shade rich chocolate. Yeah. Did I gamble? No. I don't got money like that to be losing. I'm sorry. Try somebody else, because it ain't gonna be me. Yeah, the Subway, you know, tastes like Subway. It was good. I got a chocolate chip cookie. My mom got macadamia. She loved her some macadamia. I don't know why. I'm gonna let my concealer sit. And so my mom and I, we basically went looking around, and we went to the shopping center. Bro, I think my mom was looking for souvenirs for her coworkers, I think. Child. The most reasonably priced souvenir was keychains, and those keychains were on sale. Because no offense, why am I paying $10, $15 for a keychain? Are you well? Nobody's paying that kind of money. Oh, by the way, I'm using the Nikon K liquid contour, and I'm just kind of like, And another reasonably priced souvenir was probably like these totes that said Las Vegas on them. I was like, oh, okay, that's not too bad. But yeah, everything else was just kind of like, you're pushing it. I'm really sorry. I can get like 3 keychains on AliExpress for the prices they were charging in that store, okay? In those stores, I should say. They had a lot. They also had, like, I saw, what is it? Skyline? Zipline? I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm scared of zip lines ever since that time my mom took me to one. I've had a crazy fear of heights. Nothing crazy, but it's like, I wouldn't willingly do it, you know? What stores did they have? I'm trying to remember. They had like food stores. They had like these candy stores. They actually had a CVS, which we were kind of surprised about because like, oh, that's cool. So we went there to get some water, you know, take back with us to the hotel. My mom told me that they were trying to recreate Venice, you know, Venice in Italy. So I was like, oh, okay, because they're referencing, I don't know if it's the Greek or Romans. They were referencing a lot of that architecture. I was like, wow. And you know, I stick pic because that was so beautiful. And so after kind of like dilly-dallying and looking around and, you know, just being hot as hell, because the average temperature in Las Vegas, 90, 100, okay? Nothing less. I'm telling you, it's in the 90s or it's in the hundreds. And honestly, New York is more humid than Las Vegas. But I don't know, after being in the heat for a while, you really kind of feel it. So it's like, okay, I need to go back inside, you know? The heat wave that we had a couple weeks ago in New York was honestly worse than the dry heat that I experienced in Las Vegas. And that's saying something. And of course, Las Vegas is a desert, so that kind of dry heat makes sense. In New York, you know, we're near bodies of water, blah, blah, blah. So that makes sense. But once we got to the hotel, y'all, that was so beautiful. That was the fanciest hotel that I've ever been to, okay? We had a mini living room. We had a nice bed. We had 2 TVs, one across from our bed and one across from the living room, the mini living room, the bathroom. Oh my gosh. It literally had a little vanity section. We had a shower. We had a bath. I didn't really take a bath because I've never really done that before. But I would honestly love to take a bath. But yeah, that was beautiful. I had to record it because, wow, this is the life. And to think that people get this with whatever hotel they go, I am envious, you know. One day I hope to be able to afford that, you know. But yeah, it was really beautiful. And their vanity, it had like a mirror, had a little chair. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I just wish I brought my full makeup so that I could like actually sit down and record a video like this for you guys to see. I only got to do my skincare there, but it's like, oh my gosh, it was so beautiful. And they had like 2 sinks, and the restroom had its like own area. It was just, wow, the life of the rich. I used the e.l.f. Putty blush in the shade Blush Pâte to Pies. This is one of my favorite orange shades. And then I think my mom and we took a nap basically because we were still kind of full from the subway. I actually had to like take my 2 cookies. I didn't even finish all of them. Child, that's when the all-nighter that I tried to pull caught up to me. Because Las Vegas is, you know, 3 hours behind New York, you know, or Eastern Standard Time. So we got there at around, I took a nap at like 3 p.m. Guess what time I woke up? The next day at 6 o'clock, 5 or 6 o'clock, 5 or 6 a.m. That's 9 plus 5 is 14, so 14 to 15 hours. I'm just kind of like, damn. And then my friend texted me, she's like, she thought I died, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I did not think I would be knocked out that long. Like, I was really in deep sleep. Like, I was really tired. And that's how I know that pulling all-nighters, that's never going to be me. That's never going to be me. The fact that I had to sleep so long just to recover from that, that is just not productive. I'm sorry. I basically wasted the whole afternoon. Of course, thankfully, I woke up at a reasonable time because like 5 or 6 is kind of early. But I could only pull like all-nighters if I know that the next couple of days I can be idle. If I can't, So yeah, the next day my mom and I woke up, we actually had a tour. We were going to see the Grand Canyon. We went to see the Hoover Dam. Anything else? And yeah, we had to be downstairs in the lobby by like 6:10, my mom said. Got there 6 o'clock. We didn't see anybody. Then they text her that, you know, it has to be 6:30. I was like, bruh, I could have slept a little more, or I could have relaxed in bed a little more, but whatever. And I had this like cute outfit, but you know, I borrowed my friend's like boob tape and stuff because I was really trying to lift the girls with the strapless outfit, because the strapless bras that I have are just not it. You know, I'm still learning how to work with my boobs, you know. And child, it was just an embarrassment. It looked like I had 2 boobs. It just looked really bad. So my mom and I, with the time that we had to spare, kind of went to the bathroom to fix that. The company that my mom booked the tour with, they were like really communicative. You could really reach them, easily accessible. So that was nice. So yeah, when the guy got here, I think his name was Carlito. Yeah, Carlito. He's really nice, really very informative, very helpful, kind of funny. What comes with the tour is breakfast and like a meal ticket, because the place we were going to, they had food. We got like an egg and cheese croissant with like milk and fruit cup, and I was like, okay. I mean, I don't drink milk by itself. I'm okay. But the egg and cheese croissant was actually really good. I love making an egg sandwich with a croissant. It makes me feel fancy, you know. I don't know why. Yeah, it was really good. And then we went to another hotel to pick up a family of 4. We were basically in total, it was just us 6. So I was like, wow, nice. They're really nice, you know. We greeted each other. I think they're from Barbados. No, the Bahamas, they said. They're from the Bahamas. You can definitely hear the accent, the Caribbean accent. So I was like, okay, period. So the first stop was going to the Las Vegas sign. To no one's surprise, there was a line. And I was just kind of like, whoa. I'm just going back on my blush brush to make sure that my blush really just kind of blends seamlessly into my concealer. And I tried to bring my digital camera on the ride, but for some reason, all of a sudden, it's telling me, oh, the battery is dying and all this nonsense. The battery's exhausted. So I was like struggling to take pics, okay? But I still managed to get a few good scenery pics. This was honestly the last day where I could actually use my camera sparingly, you know? Time to spray the face. I'm gonna use the Milani Make It Last sunscreen spray. The smell will always kill me. Time to set my face. Don't mind the dirt on my the neck of my brow, guys. It's just for my makeup. And my mom and I took pics together. I took a solo pic. Las Vegas sign was like, oh, that's cool. And on the way as we drove, the tour guide, he basically gave us like the history of everything. And it's still so shocking to me to learn that only two guys own kind of like one half of the places, the area that we were staying in, and the other half. And I was just kind of like, oh wow, capitalism, you know, like that's kind of crazy for two people to own all of this land. I'm gonna be using my usual powders, and I will have them in the box below, so don't worry. It was just so crazy to me because like, wow. And you could honestly still see that even though the places look nice, that there was a lot of building going on, things were still being developed. So it was just kind of like, wow, okay. Two guys controlling everything. And I think their families, and in the hotel we stayed at, the family of the guy, they basically lived there and kind of like run it. Guaranteed job, guaranteed riches. Wow. So after we went to the Las Vegas sign, our next stop was the 7 Magic Mountains. I don't know why it's called the Magic Mountains. Basically, it's just 7 rocks, colorful rocks, you know, tall, colorful rocks standing there. And you could really see the desert part of Las Vegas as we drove there. And the tour guide kind of explained the history of like how people survived. They kind of had to, ooh, I'm not trying to mess up my dress. Oh my God. They kind of had to eat snakes from time to time if they wanted that protein. And vegetation, like you cannot grow plants there, you know. I forgot kind of the specifics because I was kind of like half asleep, kind of tired, kind of like zoned out. But I believe there were specific plants that they used to eat. You know, people survive somehow, some way, you know. That's what humanity does. Survive in the craziest of conditions. And thankfully, our tour guide, he was like really adamant about like trying to get us ahead of everybody else because there were also other tourists, other people visiting these like places that we were going. He got us ahead of everybody else so that we could enjoy it without, you know, everyone just coming with like, oh, you know. And by the time we were done taking pics, literally you could see another crowd of people coming. So we were like, okay, let's get out of here. And that's when we finally went to I think it's Arizona. Yeah, the Grand Canyon is in Arizona. So we drove there. It was like an hour and some minutes. And he also gave us the history of everything that was going on. I'm using the Ruby Kisses Mineral Powder Foundation in the shade Ebony. Like on the road there, he was describing the people that kind of live there. Wow. I don't know, man. He was saying that they live like they're homeless. And, you know, I just thought he was trying to be cheeky. But like, actually, they live in sheds. They live in trailer parks. And their access to water is very limited. Like if they had to, in the center of their like town or whatever, they had to dig a well. And that's basically where you pick up your water. And I'm kind of like, wow. I just think I have to live in New York because I don't know if I'm built for that kind of life. I'm sorry. I'm not. And you know how it's like when you live in like a rural area and they just have a line of mailboxes? That's basically, we saw that every, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Just a line of boxes there. And some people were even trying to sell their like trailer park and the land. And I'm kind of like, who's buying that? Unless you're some big corporation trying to take over. But who is really going to be buying this land in the desert? Okay. Now that we've like contoured the face and powdered or whatever, we're going to go back to the eyes. So I really want to make sure that my inner corner is really brightened. So we're going to go back to the same shades. The same yellow shade that I used on my lid. And kind of just put that in the center. And we'll redo my inner corner liner. And then when we finally got to the Grand Canyon, this land is owned by the Native Americans. I forgot the specific tribe. I'll like have it somewhere. But they control the land. And my tour guide said that since this is their land, American laws do not apply here. And I was kind of telling my mom later on, I was like, that's really cool that as little as this area is, that Native Americans have some control of their land, because, you know, if you take any U.S. history class, you kind of hear the atrocities that the Native Americans went through. It's like they'll be promised this land, but the U.S. Settlers would still kind of like impede on them, and I'm kind of like, oh. So it's nice to see that nobody's impeding on this land, you know. And the Grand Canyon, Lord, it is as mighty as they say. Like, whew. We took pics in so many different areas, and it's still the Grand Canyon. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes when I took pics of my mom, I got scared, because I'm like, if you stand too close, it's like, oh, you could fall. Our first stop was actually like the skyline, and it was just kind of like thing where you're kind of up in the air and you see, not up in the air actually, but you know, you see like the Grand Canyon. Tell me why I look down and I'm kind of like, oh, you know, when something is kind of like bad for you, but you like still do it. I kept looking down and I low-key scared myself. And my mom also kind of realized that we were kind of like up, and I was trying to take a pic, you know, in the middle towards like the edge, not the edge where I'm like I'm gonna die, but you know, the edge. And my mom was like, don't go there, stay in the middle. And I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, we kind of like sped through it because we were kind of like, what's this? I didn't want to do anything, but it was still really nice to see. I still got footage or whatever. Like, wow, the Grand Canyon is humongous. And for lashes, my best friend Vic, she got me these lashes. So I'm really excited to try it. I'm trying to expand the style lashes that I have. You know, I just want different things, and I feel like I'm getting better at working with them. I'm gonna use these I Envy Strip lash adhesive in the shade Clear. So I just like to, let's get rid of this. Just pour some onto my hand. And just line the lashes. Woo! This eats, oh my gosh. So after I apply my lashes, I like to just take eyelash curler and just kind of like blend it with my natural lashes a little better. Sometimes I apply mascara before I apply lashes. Sometimes I don't. It just depends on what I'm feeling that day. And today I didn't. I don't even think I need to blend it that well because it kind of matches the style of my natural lashes already. Curled and up, so period. Let's do the under eyes. First, draw a dark line underneath to really kind of bring out my under eye. I take a dark brown. And after my mom and I finished the skyline portion, we went to the next station to eat because, you know, that came with the tour, like a free meal ticket. I had street tacos and mama had vegetarian tacos. Child. I need to see who the chef is because ain't no way indigenous person or anyone of color made this. It was just giving bland. It just didn't give street tacos. Like, I'm like, oh, I feel bamboozled, you know? Okay, so I'm gonna see if I need to apply white eyeshadow under. I feel like I look really crazy, so I'm gonna try to use mascara to like clean that up. I'm just gonna first go in with my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. So after we had the food, we went to the next station, we returned, and this was around the time that like 2 other tour buses that were much bigger than us arrived and stuff. So we kind of got ahead of them and were able to enjoy all the attractions without like some long line. The other family, they kind of like took their time because while we left the skyline, they were taking pics, so you know, as they should, whatever. So we just waited in like this cool area for them to come back. And then we just kind of went back to the bus because Carlito was just in there. I think he was taking his own little break, so, you know, we don't want to disturb him. We got some more water because it was hot as hell. My mom was still looking for souvenirs. We saw how overpriced a lot of things were, so we just skipped right on past. And when the other family finally arrived, we went to the Hoover Dam. And I think that was like another hour of travel time because it was kind of like, I guess, back in Las Vegas. Farther down from our hotels. On the way, the Carlito was basically saying that because some guy tried to bring explosives there some years ago, you know, they do these serious checks. You cannot bring a backpack inside. If you try to bring a backpack onto the premises, they will turn you around. When the security came to check, it was just some scrawny guy, looking at us, and he said, okay. And I was like, yeah. My mom was like, what is this guy gonna do anything to protect the place? I was like, and then once we finally got cleared to go in, we had to walk up these like stairs. It was quite a few because it was just kind of like uphill. And then when we finally got there, we realized that it was just a long line of, you know, looking at the Hoover Dam. And it was kind of near like the highway, but it was basically like the highway and then just this walking area to look at the Hoover Dam. And my mom didn't want to go all that far. Yeah, I get it, because we were just up and, you know, by some accident, crazy thing, you could fall off and just die. But I got, you know, pics of it, and it was just like, you could see the body of water, you could also see the American flag, and I was like, wow, that's cool. I'm going to do blush, and I'm going to take my orange shade from the Juvia's Place palette, volume 1. Oh yeah, the tour guide was kind of giving the history of like the people that built it. As you know, corporations and, you know, their exploitation of people. Unfortunately, like, I believe there was like 90 something people that died, but in total it was like 150. But because the workers signed a contract saying that if they died at the hospital, the company wouldn't reimburse their families, the companies don't actually count those deaths. So the companies only count, the 6 companies I believe only counted those deaths if you died at the site, not if you injured, go to the hospital and then died, you know, which is kind of like, okay. And I was like, to like not ignore those other 60 deaths is kind of crazy, but that's what capitalism does. Exploits people's bodies and then treats them as cattle to be, you know, just discarded any time. And I believe there was like a couple of black people that worked there, because I think some of them were trying, some of the white workers were trying to protest. And they protested, but the guy who was overseeing it, he didn't want to fire them, but he had to because the companies were pressuring him. And to replace the workers that got fired, they basically used black people. And unfortunately, those black people lived all like 2 hours by bus to get there. And these people were you know how many days these people got off every year? 2 days, 4th of July and Christmas. So every day, round the clock, they were working with only 2 days off a year. That's just insane. I would kill myself. Like, oh my gosh, that's insane. That's really insane. I'm sorry. Like, working every day nonstop and you only get 2 days off? No weekend? That's my personal hell. But at the end of the day, you know, they did it to feed their family. They did it to, you know, blah, blah, blah. But even after more black workers came, it was still a majority white facility. Majority white workers and everything. It's kind of like, oh, wow, okay. Then we just went home, and he kind of like, Carlito kind of asked us to write a review, because I believe that market of like being a tour guide is very competitive, and you kind of know if you're doing well if they actually put you on schedule. And he was like being put on schedule kind of like the next day, so he was like, please write me a review. We got some food, we went back, and just relaxed and chilled. Either that same day or the next day, we kind of explored the hotel for what it was. And then so for my birthday, which was just this Tuesday, July 14th, so you got some birthday breakfast. You had to make a reservation. There's this place called Yardbird. I tried chicken and waffles for the first time, guys. It was honestly not that bad. It was really good. And they actually added cheese to it to make it like really soft. And I was like, okay, not bad at all. Chicken was great. The waffles were great. I had syrup with the waffles, of course. And I had hot sauce with the chicken. I'm just gonna take it off because it's a little too orange for me. I'm gonna try to go more pink. And then once my mom and I were done, we went shopping. Not shopping, but we kind of explored the hotel area, because when I tell you this hotel was humongous, it's humongous. They literally have, like, when you think of like a mall, think of that inside the hotel as well. It was crazy. I'm still in awe. We saw like fancy stores, basically Louis Vuitton, you know, Burberry. Every brand store you can think of, it was there. You know, they were recreating Venice, Italy, so they had this section. My mom says, I forgot what it's called, Grand Canal Shop. They also had another section I forgot the name of. But yeah, they had like this area where it's like a body of water, and you kind of sit and someone rows you. So we were gonna do that to end off my birthday. So we were kind of seeing the people, and I was kind of like, wow, this is amazeballs. And then also when I went to a wax museum, getting to the wax museum was like a hell, because the signs, they just weren't helping. Like, it would say, okay, this direction is the wax museum, but like, you know, if are you making a right or making a left, like we kind of had to keep asking for help. But we got there finally. And of course, in the beginning, guess who I saw first? I saw Zendaya, then Beyonce. And, you know, I had to take a pic with my queen. You also had Denzel Washington. Who else? Leonardo DiCaprio. I didn't take a pic with him. I didn't take a pic with Brad Pitt, Vin Diesel. I took a pic with Angelina Jolie, Rihanna, Megan Thee Stallion. They did her body correct. Her booty was popping. I think that was the best recreation of Megan. The Wax Museum was really fun. It was really cool. I'm glad I got to see some of my favorite celebrities. Favorite celebrities as in I like their music, you know. But yeah, that was a really cool experience. And then I ended off my birthday with, you know, the gondola and the girl who was actually like, who rode us around. She was also my age. She was 21. And she sang me happy birthday in Italian. Her name was Patrizia. And, you know, she sang it beautifully. And yeah, then I went home. And then for today, I'm going to be going out with my friends. We're going to do a karaoke and we're going to eat Thai. I feel like eating Thai on my birthday is like a ritual at this point. But I don't mind because I feel like I really get to eat Thai and it's my birthday and I want to eat Thai. So I'm going to spray my face. I'm really excited to hang out with my friends, receive my gifts. I think this year I'm going to try to record me opening my gifts again. Do I know where? No, but we're going to find some place. Hey guys, this is my final makeup look. I can't really see it all that well, but I'm going to try to show you in different lighting. This is my dress. Stay tuned for pics and videos later. But yeah. Bye. Gotta rush.